Hello, fellow Factorians, and welcome back to my Pyanodons challenge run. During the last episode, I became a real factory manager because I got trains going. Yes, we have a few trains on the network. They're not doing much right now, but they are there and they're ready to go as soon as I get more things going out there. I also got construction bots, which was just fantastic, although the build that I set up to make the construction bots exercise themselves has a few problems. In particular, I didn't put down enough construction zone extenders, so it didn't fully fill itself out, and I'm not sure it even has all the supplies that it needs to. During the hands-off period, besides looking at that build and lamenting that the bots weren't continuing to fly, I set up quite a few blueprints to work on, and one of them has me really excited. It's been something I've been thinking about doing for quite a while now, and hopefully it'll be a clever addition to my base to help me build it out bigger and better. Besides that surprise, which you'll see coming soon, I also set up a build to slaughter augs and a borax washing build on the train network, which is going to be kind of a test case for me. Anyway, science ran well. The base is running like a well-oiled machine, even though I'm currently out of fish oil because the construction bots ate it all. They also ate all my steel. I'm going to have to look into a combination of providing more materials to them all and doing a better job buffering a few of them. Most of the materials, because they're delivered on caravan, buffer just fine, but I have a few delivered by belts, and those are unbuffered at the moment. So yeah, I might adjust some of that. But there's bigger and better things to tackle. So we're going to jump into the episode with a little bit of fix-it time and then on to major development. See you there. So lots to do today. Let's just dive right into it. First, as always, hands-on mode. Then I'm going to go out to this tree build and deal with some issues out here. Biggest issue is that I did not place construction extenders close enough together, so this one, I guess, does not get built by this one. And even though it exists, I thought the logistics connection existing meant it would work that way, but I was totally wrong about that, and I'll learn my lesson for the future. So I need to fix that. Also grab a few things that I know that build still needs because, you know, I just looked over its shoulder into what the boxes it had contained. So I'm going to take those out there and it'll get closer to being done. And then we'll come back and work on what I actually want to do for this episode. Let's see. I do have a lot of bots that got made, so I got, I'll take 150 with me, a little bit more than that. I'm very low on steel and also low on fish oil out here, so that's something that I don't think I can really address this episode, but I might at least put in some buffers for it so that if I do finish up building construction bots, I can start buffering some of those materials. Let's see, I also need construction zone extenders, and yeah, you don't need to hear me ramble. I'll meet you when I get back out there. I want to do a quick little fix while I'm on the way here. Just need to fix this quartz mine a bit. Also take away the miner that is finished. And yeah, get back on my way. All right, now to set up some construction zone extenders. I guess I have to drive around the perimeter here, so I am actually going to use my car to do it. Help me make this process a little bit faster, in theory at least. Probably going to go massively overkill on the number that I put down just to make sure it gets done, but I can come back and remove them later, and that's kind of the plan, to not have them up all the time. On the theory that limiting the number of construction zones that I have is another way to save a little bit of UPS, although I'm not sure that that is actually the case. I'll have to do a little bit of research. What I'm doing here, by the way, is I also need to connect water lines at the back. When I pasted this blueprint down, I had some at the front, but then there was a cliff in the way, and then I didn't fix the issues that that cliff created. So I'm going to deal with that. Oh, what's that? Oh, okay. That's a problem. I know I pasted this down correctly. What the heck? I mean, I know I pasted this with shift control so that these trees were marked for deletion. Okay, I think probably it's that if you leave a deconstruction planned for too long, what happens is that the game decides, nope, that deconstruction you wanted, it just times out. It doesn't count anymore. So I guess I have to repaste this blueprint. That shouldn't be too hard. I'm trying to repaste just the back half because I made some edits to the front half. Okay. Hopefully the bots get done with this before I have to do this whole process again. I might have to find the setting that controls that. I'm not sure I've seen it in the Factorio settings, so maybe it's buried in a debug control somewhere. I don't know. Okay, I think that's going to be enough construction extenders. At least that's the hope. So now I need to deal with an oversight in how I deal with spoilage. As you can remember, perhaps, tree seedlings spoil into seeds. And currently I put them out onto the belt with logs, and then they get passed through the you shall not pass filter. And if I had power here, these inserters would take them off and put them back out to be turned into seedlings again. Fortunately, I forgot to do that with 2 of the lanes of logs, so I'll have to take care of that right now. I'll be back after I've done that. All right, and I think that takes care of that. I will definitely have to come back and check in on this build because there's quite a few things I need to fix still in the future, I think. For instance, I'll need to load this up with some logs so that I kickstart the process. I guess I could do this right now. Let's do a couple. Yeah, because I need to make seeds before I can even start the process. So yeah, normally you need to have some wood before you can make more wood. I will also have to come back and fix up these buffer stations. Not quite sure how I exactly want to do this, so I left this as a problem for future me to decide on. I know that I want to measure the buffer stations on this single stop to cut off this moss when I want it to spoil. But in general, my buffer solution, which I'm going to use for things like byproducts and when I want to measure the outputs of certain processes, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about doing that. So I'll figure that out for the next episode. For now, though, I want to get on to the actual meat of the episode. What I've been planning to do for at least a few episodes. This might turn out to be my magnum opus for the whole playthrough. Yeah, no pressure. I'm just thinking that this is going to be one of the most clever or possibly most stupid ideas I've had because it's kind of complicated, uses a lot of circuitry, and the benefits, while great, could be superseded by just having a lot of bots. Also, I see that I have an alert for stone, so let me figure that out before I get onto this magnum opus of mine. It might actually, yeah. Let me stall for a little bit longer. Let me solve my stone issue. Okay, I do have one stone mining belt that I had cut off because I'm trying to preserve this patch as long as possible. It's already down by over 20 million stone, and while that seems like a lot considering it's 75 million, as it drains out, I'd have to keep reshifting miners around, and I'd prefer to keep these patches where I've got a whole system set up around them present for as long as possible. So I think I'm gonna automate turning this on and off. Let me go figure that out. Anyway, my guess is that now that I'm making more of my iron from the improved process, I get less stone byproduct. And I've been running on a knife edge for the amount of bricks I've had, basically throughout the whole playthrough. So that little tweak may have shoved me over a tipping point where at least it forced my backup system to turn on. And I'm not sure that the backup system can really handle producing enough bricks to save me if the main systems have problems, because I didn't actually add that much brick production. It looks like a lot maybe, but remember, a lot of the bricks made here are recycled back into stone, so the production rate is not that fast. Yeah, it looks like these belts are full, but actually they're flowing very slowly here. It's just that there's a little bit of backlog. So let me figure something out where I automate this. I think maybe I put another brick sensor. Yeah, a brick sensor on my circuit network for the radar. Yeah, let's do that. All right, this should mean that I get an extra belt of stone coming in whenever my backup system starts running, and then it'll cut off when I don't. Okay, this could have been a disaster if I'd gone into hands-off mode and 2 hours later the bricks had broken. So kind of good thing that I had this this alert showing me that it was going to be a problem. I had not scanned my stone system in a while to see if it was sufficient. So yeah, kudos me, sort of. No, actually, I kind of feel bad that my sign system is still needing maintenance, even though I've had kind of the same setup for ages. All right, enough stalling. On to this Trainbot system. So, big cut. We're here in a test area because it'll be easier to demo what I'm planning to build with all the components side by side. And it'll also mean I'm isolated from the brick demand problem that I left back at my main base. Anyway, there's 3 big components to this. This is the Trainbot depot. This is what I was standing next to before the cut. There's this signaling area. And then there's a drop-off station. Well, there'll be a lot of drop-off stations. In my main game, this is out at a borax mine. But for this one, it's right next to me. Also, this is going to stand in as our mall. This mall can only build steel chests at the moment, but that's all we need because over at our drop-off station, we've got 12 steel chests, that ghosts that need to be built. So how do we know that there's some ghosts that need to be built? Well, besides the fact that we can see it, I've added the ghost scanner mod. The ghost scanner mod just says, okay, anything inside of the local logistics area, so this RoboPorts area at the moment, put out a negative signal for anything that needs to be built. And this is what we're going to be leveraging to build this Trainbot system. I don't mind installing a mod for this, by the way. This really feels like it should be a vanilla Factorio feature because you can hook up a wire to a RoboPort and get the local logistics network requests, but you can't get the construction requests, which is kind of a shame. But that's okay. That's what mods are for. So anyway, with this information, we do a few things. First of all, we turn on this train station so that a train could arrive here. Second of all, we put this information onto this green wire, but with a little bit of filtering. So, of course, we add in anything that's in these chests that are here at the stop already. So if I already had 12 steel chests here, there would be no demand and the bots would be building them right away. We also are saying, hey, when this green wire has an A signal, because this is the A station, you look at the right there, it's cycling through A through H. When it has the A signal on out there, that's when we put onto the green wire the -12 chests, also a green check mark. And that green check mark is important in and of itself. because we follow this green wire, and the green wire goes over to here to each of these flash memory cells. So this is the one that is associated with the A train. Each flash memory cells, all they do is they wait for the A signal to be present and one green check mark. When that is present, it memorizes that, and if there's no signal present, it keeps around what it had stored before. So right now, it should be continuously storing, -12 steel chests. It forgets about the check mark. The check mark is there basically as a idiot check for me. If I built 2 A stations and hadn't disabled either of them, then that channel would be occupied by 2 stations. It would be confused where to send the trains and what to put on them. So this will instead say, forget everything, put out an alarm through this alarm up here, and you need to deal with that yourself, because I'm not going to put in some sort of extremely complicated channel assignment system. This is the limits of my combinator programming ability. Anyway, so it memorizes the 12 chests that it needs. It puts that out here, and whenever there's a train present here, it says, okay, these 12 chests goes further on. It talks to these inserters and checks to see if a chest is on this sushi belt, and then it will insert it into the train. It also takes that and puts it on to the red wire here, and the red wire is the overall demand from all of the trains. So this red wire then goes up here where there's some inserters that are similarly wired to take items off of the mall sushi belt, put them in a chest in case the sushi belt is full, but basically dump them out onto the local sushi belt for all of these trains. It also takes the 12 chests and says, hey, there's a demand for 12 chests in the mall, so go ahead and deliver that onto the mall's sushi belt. So if I turn this inserter, hopefully those chests would go flowing through here, go off to this train, get loaded up, and be transported out here. And we'll do that test in just a second. Other than that, there's only a few other components that are worth mentioning. First is that there's going to be a train that comes through and fuels all of these. These are going to be my only double-headed trains in my train system, at least that's the plan at the moment, besides my own taxi. That one doesn't count. The reason I've made these double-headed is it can make the drop-off station footprint really small, whereas if you need to curve around, obviously it makes the footprint bigger. There's this train here, which I know I'm going to have to fix this in the main game because it's not getting fueled, but this is the cleanup train. There's a second station at these drop-offs that gets turned on when all of the demand is met, but there is something in these storage chests, and these storage chests are set to be filtered to stone, to logs, I think, to sap, to moss, the debris that the bots can pick up. And what all this is going to do is, okay, when you finish building, go ahead and send a train out here to pick up the junk that will be left behind, bring it over to this caravan outpost, and then I will have to set up some caravans to deal with it in the bootstrap base. There's also a caravan outpost to take away the ash that is here from the trains that are running back and forth. And I think that's about it. Up here, this is the signal generator. It's just got a selector combinator that's iterating through the signals in this constant combinator, A through H. And it's iterating it once per second so that I can see it in the circuit network, but it could be going much faster if I really wanted it to. This is just so it's slow enough for me to see it. There's this alarm that lets me know, I think I might have mentioned this already, but it lets me know if I've doubled up on a signal. And that's about it. So let's run a quick test. Of course, I've run this in the test area, so I know this should work. But once it's in the real world out in my base, I'm sure I'm going to run into many more problems that I will have to fix. But for now, I can enjoy the fact that, the chests go down, they go into this other sushi belt, they get loaded onto this train. The train itself, its schedule says, okay, as long as it has cargo inventory and locomotives are fully fueled and there's inactivity, so the mall hasn't provided anything lately that it might need, now it can run off to that drop-off station. Otherwise, the inactivity timer is a way for me to avoid having to like program something more complicated if this cargo wagon is filled, all the slots are filled, but the items are not filled up. That can get a little bit complicated when you're doing complicated cargo loading for a train. Anyway, now it's going to run over here, get its chests delivered, and once those chests are in boxes, the demand should go away. The ghost combinator should notice that the items are gone. Then the bots go out and fill that up. That is all built. The combinator should drop to 0 because everything's been built. Oh. Well, this is a bug to work on because the ghost combinator doesn't update that fast, but I'll figure something out to either put the chests back onto the mall sushi line, or I think there are some settings for the ghost combinator to for me to adjust how frequently it updates. Anyway, then the station sends me an alert to say, hey, everything is built. There's nothing in these junk chests, so you can go ahead and disassemble this, or I can go to this combinator, turn it on, and this combinator tells the whole station that, hey, shut everything down because I don't need to use this anymore. And the signal should go away in a second. Yes, it just went away. Or at least the UI hasn't updated, but over here it should be okay. Maybe not. Oh well, something else for me to take care of. Even though it's a test, and I have built this in a test area, like before, I'm not claiming everything is going to be perfect. I'll have bugs to fix, and that's kind of more of the drama of not doing this testing to absolute exhaustion. But yeah, I probably will go ahead and fix some stuff before I get back to my regular game and repaste this blueprint when I need to. Anyway, let's jump back into the main game. All right, so after that little interlude, I'm going to go ahead and set this up. Hopefully you understand what I'm doing, or you just skip through the whole thing. I'll put some timestamps down so that people can do that. But yeah, otherwise I'm just going to finish this off and then get to testing it out. Be right back. Okay, this is built now. Didn't take too long, but that is not the whole story. Also, I need to make sure the sushi belt is connected to the mall. I need to go set up something to actually build with the system to test it out. And I've got a build in mind. I've already set it up here. It's down here. It's going to be mining borax for me. But first I need to make sure that I've got all the materials that I need to go out there. I'm going to do it by doing this. I've got my train station, this wagon filtered, mostly ready to go with the items that I need to take down there. So I need to fill in all of these slots, make sure that they're full enough of items, and then I'll be ready to run over there. Yeah. I might actually set up something in the mall to either automatically fill up this train with these items or just have a box full of them. But for now, I'm going to handcraft them. I didn't think of that earlier. So yeah, let me craft these things and get over there, and we'll see if this whole system can work out. All right, I'm just setting up this depot, and as soon as I get my train out of the way and turn on this combinator, hopefully this will be able to demand a train. The ghost combinator is reading the right items, so that's a good sign at least. I have put my construction extenders much closer together, so this should be able to finish itself off. This build is pretty simple, deliberately so. I wanted something pretty small to be a test bed. I've got my incredibly tight and compact new train stacker set design up here. I saw something that looked kind of like this on Reddit, and I adapted it for myself, although it's a little bit marred by the fact that this turnaround has to be here because of the diagonal train lines. But that's okay. I like the diagonals. They add a little bit of personality to a base that otherwise would have my personality, which is none. Let's see what else is in here. I've got 2 fluid train stops. I don't even have the fluid trains yet, but when I do, they will be coming here. One of them is going to be for muddy sludge, and the other one is for syngas. In both cases, I'm not going to use a lot of train stacking or buffering. Instead, I'm going to buffer a lot of materials inside of the tanks. Because fluids are essentially free to buffer inside of tanks versus having to use inserters to load up a chest, I think it's best to save the trains and instead use buffers. Although the fact that the muddy sludge is a byproduct may make me reconsider that in the future. In fact, let's make sure the muddy sludge has a high priority. Okay. And then the rest of the build. The rest of the build is just a bunch of washers to take raw borax and turn it into regular borax, just like we've done way up here, but at a slightly larger scale. My YAFC is telling me that in the future I'll need 150 borax per second, or roughly, to maintain the level of science that I want. And this one is going to produce 50 borax per second. So I'll have to set up 2 more of those, although some of it needs to go directly into diborane, and I might build that on site along with the borax cleaning. Because one way I'm going to save on UPS is by doing things like this, where the borax gets directly inserted into a train. It wasn't too hard to modify my design so that this is the case, although I can see one little mistake here already. Did not connect this water line. Okay, no problem. I will take care of that myself while I'm here. I'm also giving the chance for my trains to load a little bit of coke and be fully fueled up so that when I move this train out of the way, hopefully everything will be okay. Let's check the signals, actually. There is, oh, no wire connection. That's a good spot. Let's check the signals now. I should end up seeing, if I turn this combinator on, the A signal getting stuff. Let me send my train back. Do I want to go back? Let's just move it out of the way so it's on the other side of the tracks. I've also taken the liberty of only setting up one side of this train station's intersection. This means because the train is always going to be coming from the northeast and leaving toward the northeast. So let's turn this off. This is my stop combinator. So now the signals should be going through. Is that the case? I do see a big signal sending through. Requested item can't be made by the mall, so that's kind of a good thing. It means that something I'm demanding is being sent as demand to the mall, and therefore, therefore it's complaining about the fact. Now, I probably should have set it up so that it would tell me what item is demanded on the mall, but can't be made, but I didn't have that much foresight. So instead, let's head back and find out what I need to do. Hopefully a train is being loaded up over there. Okay, a bunch of items are being requested. Some have already gotten into this sushi belt. Is my train picking them up? Not yet. How come? All right, well, I'll have to figure that out in a second. Let's also figure out what my mall is demanding that, or what is being demanded of my mall, but I cannot provide. I'm requesting and not getting through train stops. Did I not put train stops in here? Really? Okay, looks like I did not set up train stops in here. Okay, well, I'll take care of that. That will be really easy. The recipe is pretty simple. I'll set that up and be right back. Okay, I fixed that. I also had to add wooden power poles. Yes, I still use wooden power poles. So now both of those demands can be met, although they might be a little bit slow because both of them need items that come through on the sushi belt. Might have to raise those limits. All right, now I need to figure out what is going on with this train and why it's not requesting through items on its filter. Okay, all of a sudden it does. Was it waiting until it had full fuel for some reason? Okay, you know what? It probably wasn't counting itself at as the stop. It wasn't sending through the fact that the train was present, which is intended behavior. I don't want to have a train, a loading system that doesn't ignores the fact that the train isn't here. Kind of important. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to items getting dropped off down here. But the train will need to load itself for a little bit, and I will have to wait to see how that turns out. What do I want to do in the meantime? Something quick. Well, something quick that I did want to do was set up some buffers over here for items like steel and simple circuits. Because, you know, like right now, totally out of steel, or at least all my steel demand is going through. But sometimes I'll have extra steel, and I want to be able to buffer it up to be used in the mall in the future. So, yeah, let me set that up, and I will be right back. Okay, that's a steel buffer. Real quick, I want to do the same thing for air core inductors and simple circuits over here, although jamming into this area might be a little bit harder. So let me see if I can manage. All right, and that should take care of that. I was having to hand feed some simple circuits into my mall to make the construction extenders. So the fact that I'm now feeding in most of what I had buffered in there will help. Although I am going to save one chest of air core inductors and simple circuits for my own use and get that has priority to steel from the belt. Same thing with steel over here. Let's see how things are going with my Trainbots. This has one power pole to deliver, and what's going on here? Nothing is built. Nothing is built, even though there's a bunch of stuff in the chests. Because, of course, I forgot to put my bots away. I should really add something to those stations to remind me to put the bots in. Okay, and now the train has left. Well, I will wait for that train to come back because I don't want to jam it up in the station. That is one downside. Meanwhile, I think the inactivity timer might be a little bit high, so I'm going to increase that for all of these. Kind of a shame I couldn't make a train group out of this, but I don't know if I mentioned it, but yeah, it's a little bit annoying to set up interrupts that are using circuit signals in here when you're also trying to read from the stations. But I think there are ways to do it. I'm just didn't do it this time. All right, how's that train doing? Is it coming back? Should be coming back. It's back. All right, I'm going to go put those bots away into the build and then find something else to do, like maybe address that my bricks are still flashing. All right, that's going to build some stuff. That's fantastic. Yeah, I'll drop a construction extender in here because I doubt those circuits have made it that far. So those bots can range a little bit further and build faster. Now, what to do next? I did have quite a few things planned, but I don't have a lot of time for it. So the last thing I feel like doing, besides monitoring that train station, is maybe build some AUG power generators. Let me head over there, actually. Oh, train, you've jammed me up. No, you haven't. I'm gonna... please, don't... No, no guy. What are you doing? All right. I'll have to deal with this train station jam myself. All right, now the train can go back onto automatic. And I'll go pick up some AUGs. part of the recipe for the AUG generators is AUGs themselves, which is kind of funny. I wonder where they end up hiding inside of the generator, because obviously the one that's working is the one that I insert. Strange. Anyway, it's been kind of a long episode. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. I'm going to, tail this out with a little bit of hand construction, which seems kind of oxymoronic after I've set up all this system to do it for me. But in the future, I think I'll still be doing a lot of things inside of this base by hand, partially tearing it down, and using, of course, when I get them, my own personal robots. But everything on the train network, I'm hoping the system will work out for. I am slightly concerned that I saw too many items on this sushi belt. This might be something that I need to address. But I've got a long hands-off period to do some debugging work. So, yeah, that's one thing I'll be doing. Let me grab some AUGs, and then I'll come back here and make some generators. I also, now that I think of it, would like to put some more trains into my network, so I will be doing that as well. All right, I've used up nearly every drop of aluminum that I had laying around, as well as most of the lead, but that got done. I'm going to head out and build all those generators, and that'll probably be an episode for me. Although I also want to figure out why this train is blinking. Where are you blinking from? All right, never mind. Yep, so let me go finish up this AUG stuff. Okay, this is taken care of. I still have a train blinking at me, but I think that might be just how I set up its schedule. I'll have to sort that out. But for now, I'm pretty pleased with where things are at. Even if I've got bugs to work out, look, most of this is getting built already. My train is running around there. I've got trains sitting here waiting for this build to eventually get turned on, and I'm pretty happy. So I think I'm going to be calling it an episode at this point. Lots of things for me to look at during the hands-off period, but I'm also getting really close to having logistics science unlocked. Maybe like 4 more hours and that'll happen. So let's go into hands-off mode, and I will see you guys later.